channel and welcome to my videos. I'd like to show you one more of my stories from the Empyraeum cycle. As you may guess, I do like the variety these involve, and I hope to share these with you and let you enjoy them. This comes from the Empyraeum Novellas. This one is number 1, Alpha, Skander Draco. As I once again fail, there we are, to show you the cover properly. This one's a weird one, and again it was from an experimental idea I had. So let me just begin with, my name is Neshan Alkamet. I am Turkish, of the great land which used to be called Anatolia. I am a resident of Istanbul, which was once called Byzantium, but not many people remember that. I'm a small businessman. I sell trinkets to tourists who come to see our beautiful architecture and learn of our colourful history. I tell them of how Alexander the Great, who we call Skander, rode an army across the great Bosporus and ended an empire, quite close to here, while forging another. I tell them of how he died in Babylon, which is now in Iraq. Not a nice place to visit. I sell coins which are fake, and show them artifacts, weapons and pieces of armour, one of Iskander's lion helmets, and various small articles which are not fake. In my small shop come museum, I sell them little histories which I have printed myself, and give them sweet tea in glass cups. Some have commented that my history is a little different from that which they have heard in other places. I tell them these things happen. History is an inexact science. They believe me, and sometimes buy my trinkets. They leave, and they learn some things perhaps. They never learn a very important thing though. My histories differ because I was there. Caleb Aristides looked out over the glittering skyline and, not for the first, nor the 100th time, marvelled at the difference of the world. He enjoyed the view, which is why he had bought this place. He had a painting on his wall of a man in beautifully ornate golden armour, helmet in the shape of a snarling dragon. The figure in the painting bore a pair of beautifully wrought short swords from between the golden jaws of the helmet. A pair of eyes looked out, an odd stormy grey-green, like Caleb's own. Many of his visitors and clients commented on this painting, on its beauty, its skill and its fine brushwork. Many asked what it represented, for it resembled no armour they had seen before. Was it Japanese or something? Many decided it was some kind of fantasy role-playing type thing, and wondered how one as successful and serious as Caleb could have a taste for something in the realm of nerds and such like. Caleb never told them he had painted it himself, from memory. He painted of a memory that was not, but also, oddly, was. A memory of a time very different from today, of a time when Alexander did not die in Babylon at all, of a time when he had led Alexander's army from China to Ireland and helped to found the greatest empire that ever was. What he told next to no one was that this was not the only representation of that armour he had made. He was still making it, but soon, perhaps, he would display the life-size artwork he was casting from metal. Not yet, though. No. As he looked out from the window on nights such as these, he saw not the New York starline of 2006. He saw the bright lights from the great docks of the Kaushadar Selenar base, spacecraft ready to leave to carry he and his brothers out in search of Alexander. He saw a truly gigantic ship still in the process of being built, the Dragon's Crown, the flagship of Alexander, for him to command as soon as he came back. Alexander was dead though. He died 3,000 years ago in what was now Iraq. The wars there made the remains of that city hard to visit, even for him. He wished he could make the trek and try and locate Alexander's tomb. He sort of remembered where it was, but the world had changed so much. Even Macedonia was not the same. Wars there had changed it a lot too, divided that once great nation between Greece, Bulgaria and Serbia. He wasn't even sure that the tomb was there anymore. Slow descent to the full moon. He could have gone to see therapists, as was a popular thing to do in this country today. He could have submitted himself to psychiatric analysis and maybe enjoyed medication. He could have done that. And more, except that he knew something no one else did. He had been there in Babylon when Alexander had died, and had been lost and directionless on the earth ever since, with his occasional memories of another time. He used to be called Calliades, back when he had served under Alexander in Persia, now Iran and other countries. But he had learned to change both his name and location every 50 years or so to avoid suspicion. They kept such records these days. Seemed like they had nothing better to do. He had suffered this curious duality since the dragon had breathed immortality into him and remade him back under what was now called Mount Everest in this world, in a country still named Tibet. In the world he sometimes remembers, he'd been remade into a giant of a man, an immortal too, and given the armour he wore in that painting. He had followed the Alexander from the Sea of Japan in the east to the west coast of Ireland, building an empire, the Empyraeum. And thank you, I'm going to leave that there. Enjoy.